thank you to all my subscribers, but a massive 68% of you that watch my channel don't actually subscribe, which is fine. A lot of people don't subscribe to the other channels because a lot of people don't even have accounts, but I don't normally ask for a subscription on my channel at all, but I suppose I really should because I want to see my channel grow. But yeah, so before the video starts, if you'd kindly like to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up, that would be great, and pass me around. If you enjoy salvage content, we have got lots of cars on my channel, ranging from finance repossessions, which is I'm sat in now, down to a Audi convertible, a Fiat Panda, Ford Focus, Polo. We changed stereos in cars, lots and lots of things. So yeah, if you'd like to subscribe, please do so, and I see you in the videos next time. Welcome to my new build. So we have a 2013 13 plate Ford Fiesta, which is a diesel. So you can see the damage. So this car is not a category car. This car is a finance repossession, and this is how it came to me. I'm not sure what's happened with this this damage here, but it's just the wing and a bit of the bumper. So it's a bit caved in and a bit scratched. I don't know how that happened. Obviously someone had a fight with something, and that was that. So we've got some dented bonnet, which is here. I'm undecided whether to get a new bonnet or try fixing that one, because it's just a faff trying to get a new one. But there you go, we could do. So this side's fine. Being a 13 plate, there's obviously a few marks on it. There's a bit scuff in there. But it lines up alright along here and along there. So that wing is just, it's just damage on that wing, which is not affecting anything else. It's been sat a while. You'll probably notice that's the cleanest wheel. I've actually put some cleaning products on there just to give it, see what it came out like. No idea how these wheels were curved when this tyre, this alloy sits in, but they still managed to curb them. I never noticed this when I purchased it, but going back looking at the auction pictures, it was in there. I thought perhaps it was a co-part, you know what they're like, with the old fork truck, but it's not, unfortunately. It was already there, but that's easy sortable. There's not much damage apart from that this side. Tyres are really good all round. There's no remarks. Well, actually, try even damage that. It's just still, it's so silly. There's a bit of a dent there, but you expect these things, don't you? That in the windscreen is just where it had a hazardous sticker on it. The door's fine. It's got the minute bit of grazing on the inside from where the door's been pushing into that, because you can see that. I mean, it does open, but it does catch it. I'm hoping that's not dented. I don't think it is. But the wheel's fine. Considering it's had a tap, the wheel is less scratched this side. There's a bit of a lip on that. I might have to do the pads. I'm guessing continuing from that, it's that bit there, and that would buff out. Yeah, might do. I hope it will. There's a bit there and a bit there. Most of that will come out. Just the usual scratching. I think the wind mirror's okay. Oh no, that was the other side, wasn't it? There's a bit of a crack. But we're going to see, we might be able to plastic bond that on the other side and get away with keeping that. Because if you didn't actually look, you wouldn't even have noticed it was cracked. There is a little mark on there, but I'm not changing that for that, so I'll just give that a bit of a buff. It's no worse than stones peppering it really. This is all right down here, it's not cracked. Let's hope that bumper pops back once I release the tension in there, which it should do. That wheel's fine. There's been a curbing on there, someone's touched it in by the look of it. I bet that was a dealer. Tyre's good. Let me show you the back. So this is just the cowling off the ignition. I'll talk about that's the battery cover, and that is off the door lock because the locks have been changed. So anybody that normally watches my channel would know that I upload a second video called Diary of a Dude. That's about me documenting the other things that I do on my channel. It's normally car related obviously, but for this car, like, I've already partly cleaned the car, which is not in this video, but you'll see that in my diary video. You'll also see me sorting out the immobilizer and sorting out the keys. Most of that wasn't really relevant for this video. This is a salvage video, so we're going to be repairing this one, but there's lots of before scenes in my diary video, so please subscribe. You'll see it. It's called Diary of a Dude, and if you want to see how really bad this car was when I purchased it, please subscribe and jump onto my latest diary video, which will come after this. The diary video has already been recorded, but until I put this video out, I do two videos and they go and coincide with each other. But I always have to put out the main video before we can get the diary video out, otherwise it looks a bit silly if you're putting behind the scenes before the main event. But anyway, subscribe and thank you for watching. It's pretty stinky in here, and there's a full-size brand new spare that hasn't been used, which is good. That's just off the heater fan. I've lifted that up, so let's just clean underneath it. If only you could smell what I can smell. Whew. That's about as far as the front door will open. So that seat's slightly better because I have been sitting there, but yeah, it's pretty peppered in smell. The smell is stale, mould, cigarettes, rolling tobacco, and the remnants of someone smoking weed, because it's like, yeah, I suppose not everybody knows what weed smells like, but it's stale and it is absolutely pongy. It's really potent. This car was used for an ashtray, that's for sure. Let's get in. I don't want to shut the door, but I'm gonna. Oh, it's not an exaggeration, the smell. So the cowling's off. I've let me just open the door so you can see the side. I've had to change the ignition barrel, so because this car was finance repossession, it was removed from the previous owner without keys. Obviously because it was finance repossession, generally most people don't want their cars to go, so they're just taken off the street or wherever, lifted up in the air, no keys, alarm going off, etc., just to get it going and take it and then sell it as is how I brought it. So I've changed the ignition barrel, I've changed the door lock, and we have two keys. We've got one used one, which is that one, and then we have one brand new one, which I've just had programmed and recut. You can tell it's non-genuine, but it does the job perfectly fine, as you can see. And then that's the old one slash new one. It's quite worn out, that one, compared to the new one, but yeah. So the kit to replace it, so you got a new ignition barrel slash steering lock, one door lock, one fob, 80 quid off eBay, And then these keys, you can actually buy them on Amazon. I purchased on Amazon Prime, so it come next day. They're 15 quid. They're really dirt cheap because these cars have been out for such a long time, and these keys are used quite widely on Fords. Prior to 2012, I think they stopped using that key. But yeah, so it's 15 quid. I don't bother normally having the key cut, but my locksmith who programmed my locksmith who programmed my fob for my immobiliser kindly cut the key for me because he had to go and come back, so he said I'll do that for you. So normally I don't have it cut, but there you go. Yeah, so normally I program these myself with a little fob device, but I couldn't get it to work, so I had an auto electrician who happened to have the right software for the 13 plate Fiesta, and he came out and programmed it me, and he charged me £90. So you got the 75, I think it was 75 for the locks, and £90 for the programming plus 15 for that. And that gets me in the car and programmed and running. So it's not bad really. It's quite reasonable. Oh, it's so stinky. The car keeps locking itself because it thinks that I've left it unlocked. So let me just, I'm going to spin this round so I can actually see you. So I purchased this car as it stood, no logbook, car still on finance, which has been settled by the finance company, no keys, no nothing. This car came to me vile. It was really, really bad. You can see it's still bad, but it was badder than this. Just behind my fence, I've got 3 full black bags full of vile rubbish. Loads of random clothes, a shoe, a boot, DeWalt box, half a motorbike. I say half a motorbike. A motorbike petrol tank this big, half its frame. There was various things in there. Even used needles were in here. That's why I was on about the stickers on the windows. It had advisory on the windows telling you that it's got contamination in here. They stick them on the windows if there's blood in here, it's been an accident, or yeah, there was needle contamination in it. It still stinks, it's minging, but it's slightly better than what it was. All these little things you saw, that's fiberglass, that's just random. It's just yeah, it just stinks, and I'm going to clean it. I don't particularly want to sit in here, but you know, I have to show you what I get. That's my single glove that I've had in here. The only luxury that I did get is a bag of coins. These are minging, I've got to wash them. There was a bag of coins in the centre console. Most people would never have touched them, but you know, glove. And I stuck them all in there. So I looked through the car and it was a state, but I did find the book pack. There's not a lot in here. There's a bit from the previous person who brought it. The annoying thing is when they purchased it, they just threw the book pack in the boot, never bothered with it. They literally did no care for this, and for that reason it's just gone mouldy, and it's such a shame. Even that, look, I mean, look at that. I don't want to touch it, but if I don't touch it I can't show you, can I? There's a warranty book in there. There's the old MOT. I mean, the person who purchased this last time, it's just in there, like what they did with it and everything. And they literally just got this book pack and just threw it in the boot as soon as they had it. There's a receipt in there. There's no logbook. I have got the green part of the logbook which the person had when they bought the car. That's all it's in here. I have tried using that to register the logbook, but it was already used, which I thought it would be because the dealer would have done it. There's no service book that I've found yet. It might be, if I look further, maybe under the seats or something. I don't know. Because this was, when I did this booklet, was in this black wallet, was in the boot. Every piece of this booklet was just scattered around the car. It was not in one place. I've been, you know, up and down. I mean, there's some bits from the previous owner. I kept that in there, and that was the green slip that was left in here when they purchased the car. But you know, there's no service book that I found of yet. But at least you got that, which is a filler cap for the diesel, and the locking key. You can't go wrong if you got the locking key, can you? So there's some swings and roundabouts with it. So it's a 1.4 diesel. It's done 92,000 miles. As I said, I bought it sight unseen as it stood. For all I know, the engine could have been kaput. I only got the key programmed yesterday. As I said, I couldn't get it to work myself. I've got the tool to do it, but it just didn't want to know. But there we go now. So you can see it starts up nicely. Lovely diesel. It's got 85 miles worth of diesel still in it, so that's handy. Show you the mileage. So 92,000. So I didn't actually know the mileage on this car. So when I did my pre-inspection checks, which consisted of checking the previous MOT history, and it looked like he'd been doing about 10,000 a year, even though this car person didn't have this for a year. So the last MOT history recorded was 82,000 or 81. So I guessed it would be about 95, or I was hoping it'd be less than 100, and obviously. I've got some music playing. I was hoping it'd be under 100,000, and it's 92,000, so that's pretty good. It's not a lot of mileage at all for a diesel, and this is a 13 plate, so it's well under its average mileage. If anyone thinks, I know when they get to the 100,000 mark and they think, ooh, it's falling apart, that's just nonsense. But this is a 1.4 diesel. I think it's the 75 or the 85 horsepower, but it's free tax, so it's definitely the more desirable one. Definitely have this over an EcoBoost any day. It's 5-door, and it's got 90. There's no tax. Obviously, you don't get it anyway. There's no MOT. It's ran out months ago, and that's it really. It just stinks. Let's turn that off. But yeah, it needs a good service. I'm probably going to change the discs and pads. But we're going to see how much we can get for this. So I paid. I've just got me app up that I paid for it. So I bid up to 1,050 quid. My maximum bid was 1,550 quid, bearing in mind I've got to pay fee. So I was like, because it's not a cat car, it's just used, it's not a cat car. And no one bid me up. It stayed at 1,050 quid and it sold. Obviously it was on reserve. So it went off to the finance company who was selling it, and Copart obviously just, you know, say this is what the person bid. And I was expecting them to come back and counter offer me, but they didn't. They accepted it. So I won it for 1,050 quid, which I think was an absolute steal, really. So all in all, total, with fees, I paid 1,354 and 80 pence. So you've got to pay your fees, obviously. So when you go, oh, I got a £1,000 bargain, it's never quite a £1,000 bargain. So I bought it from Bristol, and I had to pay my driver 110 quid to get it delivered, so that's on top as well. So yeah, so that's all I paid for it. So that's it. A car with no logbook, no keys. I mean, most of the time it is a bargain, because I won it for just over £1,000. But most people, I knew people wouldn't bid on it though. I know I didn't have to go very high, because it's got no keys, and people always stay away from cars with no keys, and I don't know why. It's just stupid. The only problem is buying used at Copart is that if it doesn't come with keys, you have to ask yourself why. And this car wasn't listed as being sold by a finance company, it was just saying used. But I did my checks, proper checks, and I could realise that though it didn't tell me the seller, I knew it was being sold by a finance company. They just incorrectly listed it. Most of the time they do list them for, they do, like my Audi I brought, that was listed on behalf of a finance company. It clearly said it was on finance. This wasn't. But I did my checks and I knew it was on finance. So I knew Copart wouldn't have accepted this car through if it was a private sale, if it was on finance. They would just, you know, you can't sell a car on finance. So I knew it was going to be a finance company selling it, so I did my checks. And if you looked at the terms and, you know, of the finance that I could see on the HPI, you could see that it wasn't out for that long. So obviously it was got repossessed. And the big telltale was it's on finance and there's no keys with it, so you knew it was taken from them. And obviously I could see inside the car via the pictures, and it was a state, so you knew it was being repossessed. So that was my bit of information that I needed to know. Plus the MOT had run out, and you know, just looking at the wheels, you could tell it hadn't moved for ages. So they picked it up, and you could just tell this car wasn't being cared for. So it just shows that it wasn't being paid for, because people who pay good money for a car on finance don't normally treat them like this. I mean, if you default on your payments, you know your car's being taken off you, you don't really treat it well. You just, because you know at some point they just ran it round until it was collected. You just keep hiding it until it was collected. Some people just like, yeah, take it. They may even asked him to take it, and obviously they said no, you can't, it's on finance. And the bloke probably thought, well, I ain't paying for it, mate, so I won't pay for it, and you'll take it eventually, which is what they do. So yeah, but anyway, lots of reasons for that. Obviously this person must have had hardship and couldn't afford to pay for it, but that's neither here nor there. That's nothing to do with me. I'm just buying it as it is. Yeah, so I think it's a bargain so far. So obviously I paid the 110 delivery. I've fixed the lock, so it's 75 quid, 90 quid to have it programmed. I've got a wing. I already ordered the wing. The wing is a pattern part, insurance approved, which is pretty basic. You can get 35 quid off eBay, or it could have been 28. But yeah, so you can get the wings really cheap off eBay. They're just dirt cheap. So what we're going to do with this car is, this is not a category car, so we haven't got to worry about trying to flog it with because it's a non-category car. It's not been written off. It does show, if you do an HPI on it, doesn't come up with any categories, and it doesn't show that it's anything. It will show it's on it if you use a proper company that proper finance checks, or HPI. Some companies are just crap, they're just a little bit of information. But if you really use a proper HPI company, they would tell you that this has been through a salvage company. It will show up as salvage, and that's just saying that it's gone through a salvage company. It's not saying it's on salvage, but that's the only marker it's got on it. But that won't show up on a normal HPI because it's not salvage. It's obviously, it's been damaged, but obviously the claim has never been made. Obviously, I'm guessing the previous owner, obviously it was being financed, so they're never going to make a claim for that wing. There'll be no point if there was even any insurance on it in the first place. But that wing could have been damaged from being collected, or the previous owner could have kicked it in. You just don't know, do you? People do weird things when they're having their cars repossessed. But yeah, so we're going to call this a flipping car video, right? Basically, we're going to do a start to finish to see how much we can get for it as it's, well, as a non-category. Because I've brought a non-category which is out there, my Audi, but I'm not selling that. So I want to see how much I can get for a non-category car, because though my channel is a salvage channel, we're still this is still a salvage car. It's just never had a category put on it. So I want to see what the difference is between selling my previous Fiesta, which was categorised as an N but stolen recovered, versus non. And this is slight, well, it's 1 year newer, but it's on the facelift, so it's the commonly known as the 7.5 mark, which is slightly better, but the interior is the same apart from this piano black interior. But yeah, the seats are got a different material on, but that's about it really. But that's it. So we're going to hopefully, the next video is going to be changing the wing. We need to do some spraying, so I'll spray it myself. Just going to be a series of videos on flipping this car, see what we can get for it, etc., rather than just my traditional fix it and blah 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 type of video. We'll just do some fix videos on that. But yeah, hopefully this video won't go on for too long. But the only annoying thing is, when I had it, a completely flat battery, and the guy that programmed the key fob, though he programmed a free key fob, he couldn't get it to turn over, and we thought it was a problem, but it turned out that the battery was just, I charged it up and it just died. So I've had to take the battery off my classic Mini and put it on this, and it hasn't got stop start, thank God, so we don't need a fancy battery. So, but I have put the old batteries, original Ford batteries, so it probably doesn't really owe anybody anything, to be fair. But if I haven't got to buy a battery, then that's obviously one less thing for me to worry about. But the batteries aren't that expensive. But I've put it on the charge in the shed on the repair function, so I'm hoping it will repair. But at the moment we've got the my little classic Mini battery on this, but it's not going anywhere at the moment anyway. But I need to get out this car because it really stinks. It's like real stale. If you don't smoke and you smell cigarettes, it's, well, I did smoke, so I know what it smells like. But yeah, it's just really, and obviously there's just remnants of weed. There's no joke. You can see it. I can see it everywhere. It's like the, but yeah, it just stinks. So I'm gonna go, and yeah, I do apologise. It's a Fiesta, and everyone does Fiestas, but when a bargain comes up, a bargain comes up. You have to buy it. I'm not going to buy a car that I ain't going to make no money on, try and make no money on. I'll probably get something different next time. Hopefully we'll make a good profit on this one. But anyway, let's go, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.